How to calculate the carbon footprint of my dish. The recipe's carbon footprint calculation includes an estimate of the amount of greenhouse gases associated with all stages of ingredient production, cooking, and serving. The carbon footprint of dishes can provide insight into the climate and environmental impact of food preparation and help identify areas for improvement. The calculation of the carbon footprint of the recipe can be divided into 3 steps. First, ingredient analysis includes the analysis of each ingredient in the recipe, from production, transport, storage, and preparation. The main greenhouse gas emissions associated with each ingredient are calculated to calculate the total carbon footprint of the dish. Second, cooking method analysis. The carbon footprint of the cooking process is estimated based on the energy consumption of cooking equipment, such as ovens, stoves, and refrigerators. The type of energy source used, such as electricity, natural gas, or propane, is also taken into account. 3. Serving and disposal analysis includes analysis of the carbon footprint of serving dishes, including all packaging and waste disposal. The carbon footprint of food waste and the environmental impact of waste disposal are also considered. The methodology for calculating the CO2 emissions of the individual dish should also include the following parameters. Ingredients. This includes the origin of the ingredients and their carbon emissions associated with production, transport, and processing. The carbon footprint of ingredients such as meat, dairy products, and processed foods is higher compared to ingredients of plant of origin. Cooking method using a hob or oven consumes more energy compared to stove or microwave. Energy consumption consumed in cooking according to the recipe, including the energy used to heat the oven, hob, or any other appliance used for cooking. Water consumption. Recipes that require large amounts of water may have a higher carbon footprint due to the energy consumption required to process the food and the amount of water delivered. Food waste. Food waste contributes to the production of methane, a powerful greenhouse gas. Packaging. The type of packaging used to store and transport food can also affect its carbon footprint. The use of packaging materials that can be composted or reused can significantly reduce the carbon footprint. Transportation. The distance and mode of transport used to transport the ingredients, as well as the final dish, should be taken into account. Long-distance transportation and the use of fossil fuel vehicles can contribute to a larger carbon footprint. Taking into account all the above parameters, the carbon footprint of the recipe can be assessed and energy-efficient cooking methods can be adopted by reducing food waste and using sustainable packaging materials. The accuracy of the calculation of the CO2 emissions of each dish will depend on the quality and quantity of the available data, so it is important to use the most accurate and up-to-date data possible. Today, free tools are available online that can be used to partially or completely calculate the carbon footprint of food. To measure the amount of greenhouse gases of a dish or recipe, the unit of measurement, gram CO2e, gram equivalent of carbon dioxide emitted at all stages of food production, is used. Although readily available, quick and easy calculators are not the most accurate and transparent tools. So it is important for users to use the same calculator to calculate the carbon footprints of multiple recipes, to select recipes whose ingredients are in the databases. Calculating a dish's carbon footprint is an important step in understanding the environmental impact of food preparation. By tracking each dish's carbon emission, chefs and restaurant owners can identify the ingredients and cooking methods with the highest carbon content and make changes to minimize their impact. This approach can also help raise awareness among employees and customers, as guests, of the environmental impact of food and promote more sustainable practices. Finally, we bring you an example of calculating the carbon footprint of a frequently prepared dish called sarma, according to a recipe from our Climate Cookbook. In the Climate Cookbook manual, you can find more similar traditional recipes and be aware of how climate responsible you are in choosing and preparing your meals. Test your knowledge. Which unit of measurement is used to calculate the amount of greenhouse gases of a dish or recipe? A. Gram CO2. B. Gram CO2e. C. Kilogram CO2. D. Kilogram CO2e. B. Gram CO2e. What is the advantage of an online calculator for calculating the carbon footprint of a dish? A. Ensures a high level of personalization for the user. B. Relies on advanced artificial intelligence algorithms to calculate. C. It is free and easy accessible. D. Requires high proficiency. C. It is free and easily accessible. What is the disadvantage of online calculations for calculating the carbon footprint of dishes? A. Calculation slowness. B. Insufficient education. C. Possibility of personalization. D. Lack of transparency in methodology. D. Lack of transparency in methodology. How can monitoring the carbon footprint of dishes have a financial benefit for restaurants? A. By reducing waste and using more sustainable ingredients and cooking methods. B. Increasing the number of dishes on the menu. C. Reducing operating costs. D. Restricting the use of local foods. A. By reducing waste and using more sustainable ingredients and cooking methods. For additional information, visit our website, climatecookbook.eu. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Climate Cookbook /Erasmus Plus project support of vocational education and training in gastronomic sector towards CO2 neutral kitchen.